In this video we're going to go over some tips for water skiing and wakeboarding during the winter months. In this section we're going to follow Chris throughout a set to see how he stays warm. So the first thing Chris does is he gets a bucket of hot water ready. If you don't have access to a tap or a kettle, I recommend bringing some thermoses from home just so you've got some hot water available. To stay warm in the water, Chris has got on his winter wetsuit, which is a 5'4". Hands, feet and face are the parts of your body that are hardest to keep warm during the winter. To combat this, Chris has got on a Neoprene Beanie Hat to keep his head nice and warm, and a pair of wetsuit mittens over his slalom ski gloves. As the mittens are there just to ward off the wind chill, he's actually cut off the inside of his fingers so he's still able to hold on to the handle. To help keep his feet a little bit warmer, Chris actually likes to pour in some of his hot water into his bindings before he puts them on. While out on the water, Chris isn't trying to run any new PBs. All he's trying to do is have consistent passes back to back, keeping his technique strong and working on his fitness. We try not to push it too hard over the winter, as the falls hurt a lot more than normal and the cold water saps your energy. The longer you're able to keep your hands and your head dry, the happier you're going to be. As you can see, as Chris gets to the end here, he's trying to keep his hands up out the water. Just make sure that you keep your elbows out so that you don't sink underneath the water, dunking your head. About halfway through your set, or if your hands and feet are getting really cold, you can just jump back onto the boat and dunk your hands into that bucket of hot water. If your feet are getting really cold, you can either stand into the bucket or pour some more into your bindings. By warming up his hands and feet, Chris was actually able to go back out onto the water and finish the set. Once the set is over, you can use the remaining hot water on your hands and feet before you go for a shower. In this section, we're going to go over a few other things you can do to stay warm over the winter months. The first thing I'd recommend doing is checking over your wetsuit. You want to have a look at the seams and the taping just to make sure that no water is going to get through in your suit. And if your suit is as bad as mine, you're either going to need to do a lot of repair work or you might need to even buy a new suit for the winter. At the wake park, I normally recommend people to fill up a couple of hot water bottles before they come down to the dock as well. You can even put the hot water bottles in your bucket of hot water to keep everything warm a little bit longer. If you're still feeling the chill through your wetsuit, you can even put on a wetsuit jacket to stay a little bit warmer. So to stay warm before and after your set, having something like a dry robe can be really useful, as you don't need to worry about getting it wet. If your feet are getting cold in your wakeboard bindings, you can even wear neoprene wetsuit socks to keep them a little bit warmer. A few things to keep in mind, however, is that if your bindings were already tight to begin with, you might struggle to get your feet in, and if you take a bad fall, you will get ejected a lot easier, as it makes your feet a lot slidier. If you're thinking of wearing a neoprene beanie hat or a wetsuit hood, just remember you might need to size up on your helmet as well. For your hands, I don't normally recommend wetsuit gloves, as it makes it really hard to hold on to the handle and you end up getting forearm burn really quickly. Might sound weird, but most people do actually prefer wearing Marigold gloves or nothing at all. If you're struggling to heat your hands back up after your set, I'd recommend buying some packets of hand warmers or an electric one. Thanks for listening, and all the equipment will be listed in the description down below.